a home here on Forster Drive. The people that live in these houses right here have lost nearly everything.
It leaves me speechless, very speechless, but I will say Jesus is the answer.
You've lost everything in your house?
Everything. The water's up past the windows now.
Where's your furniture? Is there any
We put it all up. It's all up on cinder blocks in there now. It's all wet, but if it dries, we've saved some of it.
Road travel in many low-lying areas around here is impossible unless you're willing to change your horsepower to paddle power. This is a bridge along Kimberly Road. All traffic is blocked off, and there are plenty of cracks in the bridge. Officials say this bridge may not make it by nightfall. The storm system called Alberto may not have done much to the Gulf Coast, but it sure has shed a few crocodile tears here in central Georgia. Shelters like this one at Northside High School have become the home away from home for many.
This is the worst thing that's happened in the 11 years that I've been here.
Tuesday, we watched the flood cut through road after road. Driving anywhere was like running through a maze. I found that out firsthand. It took me 3.5 hours to go from Roberta to Macon, which is normally a 25-minute trip. The new bridge over Matthews Creek on Highway 128 is reduced to rubble, stranding people on either side. Just up the road, more pavement has been washed away by floodwaters.
Plenty of work, lots of work to do. I would work cut out for the next 2 or 3 months, I know, because we got a lot of roads washed out in this county.
The waters continue to rage, in some places dangerously close to homes.
Oh, I was scared because I had never seen anything like it before.
Or heard anything like it either. The worst part of the flooding occurred at about 3:30 in the morning when most people are sound asleep. The residents here off of 128 say the thunderous roar of the raging waters just outside their windows woke them up.
Oh, you couldn't hear nothing but the water just running through my yard like a river. And the frogs were hollering, and so I got up and looked out, and I couldn't see nothing but like a river that was coming down through my yard.
Off Highway 80, this mobile home was swept away some 50 yards downstream.
It's just been real wet. As you can see, it's done flooded out almost everything here.
Hours later, this is the scene at the bridge on Highway 80 at the Crawford Bibb line.
Unreal. This water's probably risen about 3 or 4 foot since I've been here about an hour ago. And it's probably fitting to lose the whole road bed over here.
Well, actually, it did wash out part of that road. Frank?
It just seemed like the rains would never stop, Liz. Tuesday also showed us the power of the water to our north. Water that was headed our way and cutting a path of broken bridges and crushed roads as those waters tumbled towards us. Rodney Mull followed its destructive run through Monroe County.
Our house, you can barely see. The rooftop is there. We've watched the storage buildings float off. We've watched the decks rise up out of the...
Monsoon-like rains leave their mark on Monroe County. This bridge at High Falls State Park is no longer there. Just after 3 o'clock, the bridge was swept away by strong currents. And the area surrounding High Falls State Park is receiving some of the worst flooding ever remembered by its residents.
Yeah, you definitely got all kinds of stuff floating. I saw a house trailer that's about, I guess, 3 foot up in the house trailer now.
We got a lot of damage all over the county. We've lost a lot of houses here in High Falls. And it's just an overall disaster. We've also lost concrete bridges here in High Falls, and people are hemmed up, can't get to the places. As far as I know, everyone has been rescued. We are checking on one family at this time.
Law officers say several homes in Monroe County are flooded, and many of the rural county's roads are impassable.
We're scared what we're going to get because we've got some major roads now that are blocked, that weren't blocked before, and some bridges that are washed out that have never washed out before.
Area residents say the High Falls area has flooded 3 times in the last 5 years, but never like this. Rodney Mull, 13 WMAZ, Eyewitness News.
Those rising waters in the early hours late Tuesday claimed a life in Monroe County, but rescuers were able to reach some people.
In Monroe County, a rescuer was pulled from the water trying to reach people thrown in when their car crashed off Highway 87 on the bridge across the Tawaliga River. People were left clinging to trees after their cars were swept off into the road. A joint effort between Jasper and Monroe County crews proved successful in rescuing one of the victims that night. Wednesday, a woman from the accident was rescued after clinging to a tree for 9 hours. Her husband's body was found later in the week.
Of course, Liz, the Ocmulgee's floodwaters would not devastate Macon for at least one more day. But, as Michelle Dixon found out, local creeks were already causing plenty of problems around Lake Tobosoffke.
The packing was frantic as friends helped the Schweizer family evacuate their home. Meanwhile, behind their home, the Tobosoffke Creek continues to rise.
Creek has gone over, but it's never been in my backyard. We are supposedly on the fringe of the 100-year floodplain.
The Cortez family stood by and watched water drain from their basement. Lori Cortez says only one reaction came to mind when she saw the small creek swell into a huge lake.
Panic, but just tried to stay calm and just get what we needed. And there wasn't much you could really do.
The creek and heavy rains had additional help in forcing residents to flee. The downpour created too much water for the Finley-Ryther Dam to handle, and that left many wondering
if the house was going to be here much longer. We was really afraid that it was going to get inside the house.
But that possibility can still come true as the rains continue to rush water through the floodgates. Michelle Dixon, 13 WMAZ, Eyewitness News.
Alonzo Westbrook found out people in West Macon had their own problems to deal with.
When the Fowlers moved into their new home behind Rocky Creek, they had no idea the creek would eventually move in with them.
We have been trying to talk to the city about trying to do something about the creek overflowing, because sometimes it just rises in the backyard. But this particular day, this morning, my mother said it's rising too fast.
That was this morning. By 4 this afternoon, this is what the house looked like on the outside, covered by water more than 6 feet deep.
All of our furniture and stuff is like up near the ceiling. Everything is like floating around, just going crazy.
The craziness brought out the curious.
It's really bad, and I sympathize with these people. Sure do.
Several of the other houses in this neighborhood have been flooded as well, and it has some neighbors who live upstream worried that they'll be next.
Yes, we're watching it. We're watching the water minute by minute.
Hoping their house is high enough to avoid disaster when the creek crests and the water rises even higher. Alonzo Westbrook, 13 WMAZ Eyewitness News.
And that was just the beginning.
Things got worse. We didn't think it could. When we return Wednesday, a day of death, major road closings and concerns about our water.
As Macon's flooding moves into the national spotlight.
Do so many people like Congressman Sanford Big? Care about people.